Hello and welcome to my Managing and Maintaining Windows Server 2003 class. This class is preparation for the Microsoft 70-290 exam. I'm Bill Ferguson and I'm excited about teaching you these concepts. First, let's take a minute to talk about the reason for this course and a little bit about myself and the format for this course. Then we'll do an overview of everything that we're going to cover. So the reason for this course. The primary reason for this course is to help you to take and pass the 70-290 exam. But the 70-290 exam is only the beginning of a track of exams that you have to pass in order to become a Microsoft Certified Systems Administrator, an MCSA, or if you choose a Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer, an MCSE. And we're developing an entire track of courses to go along with the exams so that you can become proficient and pass each of the exams. It's also to help you with real-world experience to become better acquainted with the Server 2003 environment so that you can maintain a Server 2003 system for your company. A little bit about me. I'm a Microsoft Certified Trainer and a Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer for Windows NT, Windows 2000, and now Windows Server 2003. I've been a Microsoft Certified Trainer for many years. I've taught hundreds of classes and literally thousands of students. But I learn something from every class that I teach and every student that I teach, and I try to pass that on to the next class. I'll talk about some real-world examples, and we'll combine those with what we need to know for the test. The format of this course is that we'll follow this PowerPoint presentation in order to be able to conceptualize all the subject matter that we're going to need to cover. You'll see that it's a tremendous amount of subject matter, so we'll need the PowerPoint presentation in order to stay organized. With each subject, we'll be going into the live software as well to see how that's actually done. So let's take a look at an overview of what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about administration. I think you'll agree that if you're going to be an effective administrator in a Windows Server 2003 environment, you need to know about the family of servers that are available to you. So we'll talk about the different editions of Windows Server 2003. We'll also talk about the logon and security dialog box. The logon box is, of course, where you log on, where you put in your username and password. But the security dialog box is a lot more than just that. We'll talk about what we can do with the security dialog box in Server 2003. Then we'll talk about installing and configuring administrative tools. These are the tools that allow us to manage the system, and they can be installed on any Server 2003 box. They can actually be installed on other servers as well. We'll talk about how we install these tools and then how we use these tools to configure servers. We'll also talk about creating user accounts, computer accounts, and organizational units. We'll also talk about managing user and computer accounts after we've created them. So we'll discuss modifying user properties, modifying computer properties, enabling and unlocking accounts, user account templates, creating and saving queries, resetting user and computer accounts, and even moving domain objects. In addition, we'll discuss groups. We'll talk about managing groups, including the different types of groups that we can manage, strategies for using groups, how to create groups and modify groups, and then some best practices that will serve you well both for real life as well as for the test. Then we'll turn our attention to permissions. We'll talk about managing permissions, the importance of permissions, share permissions versus NTFS permissions, a new tool with Windows Server 2003 called Effective Permissions, and then some best practices with managing permissions. We'll also talk about managing printers, including installing printers, printer permissions, printer drivers, printer locations, the print spooler, printer priorities, and printer pools, which are actually opposites of each other, and then printer scheduling. But we're just getting started. In our next section, we'll finish up the overview. That's next.